welcome everyone to the Leveraging IP in Web3 panel. My name is Jameel. I'm the head of ecosystem for Sui Foundation. I'll be moderating the panel, and I wanted to let all of our guests here introduce themselves and maybe talk a little bit about your company and the product that we're working on. And so why don't we start right here with Blake.
Hi everybody, I'm Blake. I'm the CMO of Claynosaurz. For those of you who don't know, Claynosaurz is a IP, an IP that's working towards global mass adoption, leveraging animation content and Web3 technologies. Our primary focus is to get into and expand into gaming, media, merchandise, and a bunch of other stuff. So that's me.
Great. Everyone, I'm Brimer, CEO and founder of Gamisodes. We are the Netflix of playable shows. We're also developing the Roblox studio for storytellers. So anyone who has an idea for a story based on their brand, an existing brand, a very famous one, or a Web3 one, can come on and create essentially a playable show. We're currently working with the Classic Inspector Gadget as our first IP that we've onboarded. We're announcing 2 more IPs in April, IPs being a theme of this talk today.
All right, cool. Hi, I'm Jin from Jokers. We co-founded with ex-Sega Sammy producer, this company, and we are bringing, a legendary trading card game from Sega Sammy on-chain with Sui. And also, I'm the CEO of a company called Upbond. We did a joint venture, basically for Jokers. And also, there's a platform that we're building to bring those Japanese anime, manga IPs on-chain and distribute it in a form of trading card. So that's me.
Yeah, hello everyone. I truly appreciate your presence today, and I'm honored to have an opportunity to talk about the project. And I'm Toto. I'm Kiyomiya from Sega Sammy Holdings and head of CVC. And I'm working for Sega more than 26 years. So, I joined in 1999, so I found last night that fact, and more than half of my life in Sega, so oh my gosh. And as for Sega CVC established about around 2012, and I'm in charge of the ever since. And
actually, he's my investor too.
Yes, we invested in the Upbond. It's a parent company of the Jokers. Yep. So he established. And now she is overseeing the entire Sega Sammy group, and our budget is about 15 billion yen. It means $100 million. And we invested from the direct investment and LP investment, and also single LP investment for about 100 startups. And Sega is now licensing the Code of Jokers to the Jokers, and Code of Jokers is a strategy-oriented digital trading card game, mainly arcade from the arcade game from 2013, and was a favorite among Japanese core gamers. So we believe this IP is an excellent match for Web3 games, and we are very excited about announcing this project to all. And also, I'm not directly involved in the management of the Jokers, but I'm very pleased to be here today, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all. So I want to talk a little bit about the different paths that led everyone down into Web3. Some of you starting off natively, building in the space, others licensing external IP or collaborating together. So would love to go around and just talk a little bit about that journey. What led you down the path to wanting to explore Web3? I'll open it for anyone to start.
Yeah, I can start. Yeah, we were founded in Web3. We started with a digital collection in 2022 of NFTs. Your standard 10,000 collection. For us, it made sense because we recognized a disruption in the opportunity to disrupt the traditional entertainment media companies, the major movie studios and television networks. We thought and still believe today that by building openly in the community with fan-driven experiences and creating really, really engaging reward loops, you can foster a new IP outside of the way that traditional entertainment studios operate today, and really build a community-driven IP from the ground up. We personally leverage social content to do that, so we primarily focus all of our efforts into engaging evergreen social media content that gives us reach outside of Web3. And through that success, we're able to then have conversations with major gaming studios and entertainment partners who are willing to have us in the room, and we've proven out that model. But at the same time, we're also dealing with and working with artists who have been inside the ecosystem of traditional entertainment companies and mainstream medias, who now get the chance to tell their stories and bring their stories to life, as opposed to getting shelved and sitting in these old school meetings with all the networks and stuff, and never see their passion projects hit the light of the day. So that's how we've attacked Web3 in founding, and why it's important for us is to really build out with community-driven IP first.
Now, how about for the rest of the group here, taking IP that existed before and now adapting it for here? What led you down the path to doing that?
Well, I mean, with Gamisodes, we're a platform tech. We build infrastructure and tools for creators to bring their ideas to life. But what we noticed, because I'm a big fan of, if you spend time to earn something or you buy it online, it shouldn't be any different than if you do in real life. You should get to keep it and do what you want with it. But there's just this big friction with big brands, because they're actually used to building things online as walled gardens, because that's how they can kind of control, monetization and distribution. And if you suddenly open it up for, and it can go anywhere online, you kind of lose control of that. And what we realize is that there's actually a really happy medium. And we launched the platform and started building and developing content with WildBrain, which owns Inspector Gadget brand, to kind of show how can this be done in a way that big brands are comfortable with digital rights management, but fans and collectors and players are also happy with. But then at the third element of it is an individual creator. And so for us, we're looking at this not as so much as how can we just bring big IPs onto a blockchain. We're looking at it more as how can we help creators enter into this new era of what we can build in entertainment and technology using blockchain infrastructure.
Yeah, I kind of started with the Web3 native IPs. And obviously, early 2018, it was very successful. We're selling monkeys, obviously. And, but the market went down and people started flooding. And that's the time that I started realizing we have to get the real IP, from the, AAA studios. So I actually went to talk to pretty much all the AAA studio, Bandai Namco, Sega Sammy, and all of those, gigantic companies, right? I talked to one by one. Hey, I have this concept bringing a trading card game on chain. And it was never successful until I met this guy from Sega Sammy. Now we co-founded the company together. So right now, he left the company to really bring this life. But what was difficult is because those people are very successful already with the traditional trading card game, right? So they didn't have to bring that or take advantage of Web3. But I think, the Niche B, the producer of Code of Joker and other successful titles, he took the challenge to bring this to really provide a new experience with the, the power of this Sega professional gaming experience. I think that was a very exciting moment that we had handshake 2 years ago. I mean, it's very difficult to bring those, studios on chain, right? But I think that leads to mass adoption.
Yeah. I mean, it's I think a long journey especially for people who have IP that has a big audience. It's been around for a long time.
Yep.
Now adapting it for something new. How about kind of the flip side of that? What are some of the advantages that you think for companies that are thinking about this? What are the advantages that they'll get from bringing their IP into these new experiences?
I mean, the game development has been very, very difficult, right? Like, I think Square Enix recently lost $100 million just to build the game. It's been very difficult, but leveraging, I think you guys all know that, really bringing IP to the community, right? The community is really where the Web3 is all about. And if you could actually bring community and IP and the game development, like decoupling, so that whoever the community is, like, the game developer doesn't have to spend marketing cost because the IP is there. People hold the NFTs there, right? I think those are going to be very exciting business opportunity for the existing IP holders. Like, obviously, the earning aspect as well. We can look at that as from the esports angle, right? I mean, we have like a tournament pool, like prize and everything prepared. But with the blockchain, it's going to be so much easier to distribute those, transactions.
Yeah. Davis, what about for you? Building a platform and then getting people to come and use it. What's the pitch to traditional IP holders to come and build?
So yeah, to that question and to your previous question, a big consideration of IP holders, and I think we all acknowledge it, is digital rights management.
Yeah.
And the traditional way and what that means is, like, where can this content go? Who can watch it? Who can play with it? The way that it's typically managed is that you put all of the IP into a box. It's like a website or a game cartridge or a Steam game, and it cannot leave there because you're defining the box, and then everything that's inside of it has to work that way. And so, being somewhat technical, but I mean, we're at a SWE gaming conference, so why not? When you're working with SWE specifically, you can program the objects themselves, the game characters, the skins, the items, the trading cards.
Yep.
So instead of programming a box that everything has to be inside of, you just program the items. So now you don't have a box. Your branded items can go wherever you want them to go. They can be transacted wherever you want them to be transacted, and open that up. And so how we're kind of presenting this and showing our brand partners is, hey, like, there's this new technology that can actually probably make your IP way more successful than in the old model. And it's safe, it's secure, it's fast because it's SWE. And we're finding there's we're having brands, next month we're announcing one that's for infants and toddlers, actually, 2-year-olds and above. That would be the last brand you would think that would be okay being on a blockchain.
Yeah.
But to them, they see, hey, like, actually.
You know what? They were the last one that I thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we're also doing something similar because I think ownership is important. Digital, I think that's like everybody gets digital ownership in the gaming side of things. But what we're looking at and doing is intertwining that ownership across different pillars of our business. So obviously we have the gaming side of things, but then we also have a direct-to-consumer eShop. And when you buy a plushie from our shop, for instance, you can download or scan a QR code that gives you a digital booster pack. And that digital booster pack can then unlock cosmetics within our game that we're developing with Gameloft, or other different reward loops, and the same thing with the show too. So when you watch a show, you can be rewarded for watching the show. And so we're basically creating an entire achievement system that touches each part of our business in gaming, media, e-com, and digital, and building a digital product that speaks to everything. So like you said, you're not boxed in. You basically can get rewarded for participating in each and every one of those different parts of the business. So it's not a true funnel anymore. It's becoming more of a constellation at the end of the day.
So expanding on that, do you see IP playing a meaningful role in getting to this holy grail of mass market adoption for Web3? And I think if you have plushies and other ways to reach people to expand, how do you think about that for getting more people to engage with the Web3 side of the content?
Yeah, for us, like I said earlier, we primarily focused on social content because we can leverage our social channels in ways that mainstream media can't. A lot of the big studios like Netflix and Amazon Plus and Disney, when they use their social channels, they're promoting a show that exists already or has been or is doing a lot of paid marketing to their suite of titles. For us specifically, we go for an organic approach. And that's how we reach people outside of Web3 and how we're using our IP and our brand and our characters and the strength of those things to get them interested in the content and build up a strong loyalty base at the very ground level, which is very important for new IP. And I know a lot of people, my other panelists here, are working with existing, but for us it's important to make sure that we can build trust within the Web2 ecosystem because we're also a family brand at the end of the day. And the further we can push that envelope, the more we can introduce them into our other suite of projects, like our game and our television show that's in production.
And what about for the others for taking familiar IP to attract Web2 users into Web3? Do you think that's going to be the path to getting to mass adoption?
I mean, that's why I started talking to all the big IP guys, right? Because I think starting off with Web3, we had the vision of bringing those people, UGC, and people can get paid, creators can get paid. I think I still a big believer in that sort of ideal Web3 world. But along the way, I think we've been struggling to make that happen because of this, currency, like up and downs, and people start fighting, regardless of how much you put efforts to build the community, to stick to the vision. So I think definitely bringing those IPs where the fans are, and also, we recently closed, actually we just announced the Gatchaman, which is a very old Japanese hero game, and the NFT is going to be on C from today on, but they have fans, right? I think we don't have to say it's blockchain thing. We can just say it's a game or it's just a collectible fans digital card. And I think that's got to be the starting point. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. And at least I couldn't make that happen with our own IP or our own community. It was very difficult. But I mean, you're doing that, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
You got to make it as frictionless as possible at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think I'm in agreement with if anybody here saw the keynote this morning with the president and CEO of Mythical Games, he said, we just got to stop, we got to drop the blockchain game, right? We got to say game or entertainment or interactive entertainment. Because there's a very small group of individuals that will show up because it's blockchain, because they are diehard, and bless them, right? Like a lot of us wouldn't be here today if that didn't exist. But the masses, which is where we want to see blockchain being used, they could care less.
Exactly.
About Web3, Web2, blockchain, the crypto. Sorry, Sui, but even Sui, right? Like they don't even know what Sui is. Mm-hmm. They just want to come and have fun. And so it's our jobs to create fun experiences for them that leverage technology that wouldn't have been possible without Sui, for example. And so that's what Gamisodes is all about, right? Like we call ourselves the Netflix of playable shows. No Web3, no crypto, no blockchain mentioned in that. So I think that's, for a lot of people, it's not a popular answer, but I think that is where things are going.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's better if the blockchain piece is kind of in the background and the user experience is the part to be focused on. Yeah. I want to touch a little bit about the collaboration here between the two of you, and could you maybe tell a little bit about the background behind the Jokers project, and what led you to invest in Upbond, and how did this collaboration start?
Right. So again, I started talking to all the producers. I ended up meeting this amazing producer who is willing to take this opportunity, this Web3 opportunity, right? Because it's a huge risk for IP companies. And meeting Nishipi, the producer, was really the starting point. But a long ago, I was at the Startup World Cup pitch back in Japan, and then, he ended up investing to us. So it's been, what, 3 years, 4 years?
Yes, 3 years ago.
Do you want to add to it?
About Startup World Cup?
No.
But we decided to licensing the existing IP to the Jokers. So let me explain a little bit about the IPs. So again, and we are licensing the Code of Jokers. The title is the arcade trading card game was operated on more than 650 amusement arcade and nearly 3,000 satellites all over Japan. And the system, the rules are a little bit complicated. So the game is not for the casual gamers. So, but it was supported by enthusiastic fans and a very strong request from the sequel. So request about sequel. But the Japanese arcade scenes so not so strong growth right now. So there is no sequel so far. So on the other hand, due to so therefore developing Web3 games with those IP from the arcade is a logical choice for us, and they effectively leverage assets, revival IPs from our arcade history. And also, several years ago, maybe you remember, and some of the game fans negatively reacted for using the existing console IP for Web3 games. So we believe that using the legacy arcade IP to the Web3 games, the suitable and strategic point of view, it's good for us. So maybe, how can I say, a high recognition for game users, and maybe minimize the risk of the, hurting someone the existing current game communities. That's why we licensing out for legacy arcade IPs to Jokers.
Well, so much thought's been put into it, and so we're really excited to see the the final products come out.
Yep.
I know we're almost out of time, and this wouldn't be a Web3 panel without asking for some alpha here. And so I wanted to pose this question to you, Blake. Can you share any alpha for what's next for Claynosaurz?
I'll share what I can. We have a lot coming up. This is a big year for us. Some of the things that we're working on that's releasing soon is, first, we're doing a pretty big achievement system. I think I touched on this a little bit during this panel, but this achievement system rewards our active holders and just anyone who is a participant in our ecosystem for either collecting our NFTs and digital collectibles, playing our game that is in development with Gameloft, which launches at the end of this year, watching our episodics, engaging with our content, making user-generated content themselves, and even buying our plushies. So again, it's a system that we're building that rewards and creates reward loops across all the pillars of our business. That's coming out, the first version of it is coming out next month. Then we're going to be announcing our media, our show partners in the Animation Festival in Annecy, France in June. So that's going to be a pretty big deal for Claynosaurz. They're working on long-form episodic content for us. And that's going to be in the form of a 48-minute episodes, similar to what a Bluey does, scheduled to launch next year, summer of next year. And then lastly, we have the game that Gameloft is developing for us, which is going to be released at the end of this year. And this is going to be a really cool experience, again, for Web 2 and Web 3 users, leveraging our brand and IP, And it's kind of a Tamagotchi meets a Pokemon-style game where you can, care for your Claynosaurz, but also take them to battle. And that is going to be launched or soft launched at the end of this year. So yeah, lots of big things for the Claynosaurz team this year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big year for gaming all around. Well, I want to thank all of you for joining the panel and sharing your insights here. So thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.